It was an all-McLaren front row. Michael started in the top three for the first time since Japan 2006. Red Bull struggled again. Vettel was fifth, while Grosjean managed another top six start. Perez was confident his race pace was even better, while a replacement gearbox cost Raikkonen 5 places. Only 3/10 separated 11th to 16th, so there was everything to play for in the midfield. Kobayashi struggled to match his teammates' pace, while Kovalainen lined up last after he overtook under the safety car in Australia. Fifth place for Vettel was better than Melbourne. But he didn't get the start he needed. Grosjean fired down the left-hand side. He caught Webber and Schumacher unawares and briefly moved up to third. Sixth-placed Alonso got a bird's-eye view of the battling Red Bulls, but he needed to focus on keeping his own car on track. Rain was falling heavily now. Hamilton led Button. Webber had retaken Grosjean. The Lotus dropped back, but contact with Schumacher left both cars right down the order. Button gave Hamilton a hard time at the front. Webber was third, Vettel fourth, with Alonso right in his mirrors. Rosberg headed up Perez, but the two Williams cars collided and Senna took to the pits for a new wing. With one lap completed, Perez was the first to gamble and switch to full wet tyres. The rain increased, but only in certain parts of the track. Soon it was too slippery for the intermediate tyres, as Grosjean found out. McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull were poised to make the change.
Jensen, rain is getting heavier again. More cars are pitting for full wet.
Lap 4 and Button switched to full wets. The Red Bull stayed out, while Jensen was lucky not to collide with Fernando. Alonso almost exited into the path of Hulkenberg. Lap 5 and the pit lane didn't get any quieter. Hamilton was in for full wets, followed by both Red Bulls. Webber was ahead on track and got serviced first. Vettel waited patiently, while Rosberg and Raikkonen joined the melee. The McLarens led the race, but now the rain was torrential.
Guys, the circuit's completely flooded.
Perez was third after his early stop. Senna had already been in for repairs. Now on lap 7 he was back for another set of wet tyres and fell to last place. At least the safety car would bunch up the field.
You are currently P10.
That's a new position for us, sir. Oh, it's very, very wet. I cannot see nothing.
Confirming red flag, race has been suspended,
The cars lined up on the grid in the order they arrived, while their teams got ready for another start. Toro Rosso had gambled on a safety car restart and had kept Verne out on the intermediates, so he was now 7th. Getting the strategy right was key, as was managing the conditions. After 35 minutes, the conditions had eased and the race was set to restart at 17:15.
Okay, Jensen, would you like to box for inters now?
Yes.
Okay, Jensen, box this lap, this will be inter tyres.
Button dived into the pits and was followed by several cars. Hamilton led from Perez. Alonso and Webber scrapped, then Massa and Verne. The drivers tried to move out of the spray to see what was ahead. Alonso had a clear idea of what he wanted to see ahead, and it wasn't Mark Webber. He piled the pressure on the Red Bull. As Massa got the better of Verne's Toro Rosso. 1 lap later, the pit lane was busy once again. Hamilton pitted for Inters, but it wasn't a slick stop. Alonso pitted. Then Lewis had to wait for Massa to avoid an unsafe release. Alonso beat him out, and the McLaren narrowly avoided Maldonado, who missed his box in all of the drama. Button had also managed to get the jump on Hamilton. Visibility was still poor, but this really was a battle for position. Karthikeyan wasn't a backmarker to be lapped. And Jensen had to return to the pits. Lap 15 and Perez made the change to the intermediate tyres. But had Sauber been too cautious? Fernando had stopped the lap before. He had the grip to take advantage. And moved into the lead. It was lap 23. The tussle for fourth place had heated up. Vettel and Rosberg battled it out, and Sebastian came out on top. Second place Perez was on a push and had closed the gap to Alonso. Lap 40, the race leader Fernando took to the pits for a used set of mediums. 1 lap later and Sergio boxed for a new set of hard tyres. Was it 1 lap too late once again? Perez rejoined, but he hadn't managed to jump Fernando. Could he close the gap on track? Senna was 23rd on the restart, but now he made a move on Di Resta and took 7th. Hamilton made his way through backmarkers, but Vettel was another driver to tangle with Karthikeyan. He ended up with a puncture. And the extra stop left him 12th.
Box, we're ready.
The Sauber mechanics were ready for a good result.
Alonso is on 1 lap older option than you. Alonso is on option, he fit in 1 lap before you.
The hard tyres on the Sauber seemed to be working better than the mediums on the Ferrari as Sergio ate into Fernando's lead. The wet weather, combined with Alonso's driving skills, had flattered Ferrari's pace. Perez was catching as the track dried out. But the curbs were still damp, and it gave Fernando some breathing space.
Be careful, we need this position.
There were concerned faces on the Williams pit wall. An engine failure for Maldonado saw him retire from 10th with just a few laps to go. The Ferrari had struggled for qualifying pace at the first 2 events, but Fernando had driven a spectacular race, kept his cool and made the most of the tricky conditions. They weren't the only team to be ecstatic. Success in Sepang was all about being on the right tyres at the right time. Senna scored his first points for Williams and Verne finished 8th after starting 18th, while Kobayashi retired thanks to a leak in the brake system. There was plenty of work to do, but it was time to savour the moment.
Great effort from everybody, for sure. In my case, I need to drive as quick as I can for the whole race, and it was a difficult race. Malaysia is a place that I love. I won with Renault, I won with McLaren, and now I won with Ferrari, so it's third win with 3 different cars. Very proud.
Unbelievable. I was just a bit angry that I didn't win, but all in all, I'm very happy, very proud of my team. Very thankful for all the people who have supported me, and I'm just looking forward for my future. I think it's a great year. It's going to be a great year. It's only the second race of the season, so it's a long way to go.
And it was Sauber's best result since Brazil 2009. From damage limitation to challenging for victory, Alonso now led the Drivers' Championship while Perez moved up to 5th. Button's no score meant that he dropped to 3rd, while Vettel slumped to 6th. Senna jumped to 8th, and Schumacher opened the score sheet for Mercedes, albeit with 1 point. And after 2 races, Williams had already bettered their 2011 total.